The Heisman rankings have a new guy at the top of the list, but before we get to that, we're going to go through some of our top 10 guys on the Heisman rankings list after 2 weeks of college football action. Got to start here. Rondell Moore, Purdue wide receiver. The offense for the Boilermakers is simply feed Rondell Moore, get him touches, and it's a wise decision. He's turned out 2 big performances. This last one against Vanderbilt, 131.7 passer rating when targeted. He saw the nation's highest amount of targets, 13 receptions on those as well, and he forced 3 missed tackles after the catch. He leads the country in yards and receptions so far through 2 weeks, and that seems to be where that Purdue offense is finding their balance by giving Moore all the touches that he truly does deserve. He will need that if he's to stay a legitimate Heisman contender through December. We'll move on now, though. We're going to count down through this list, go up till we get to the top of the list and go through all 10 after that. But next guy on the list, Zach Moss from Utah. Plays in the Pac-12, doesn't necessarily get a lot of love on the East Coast, but he leads the country with 27 missed tackles forced through 2 games. That's a ridiculous figure. Currently at the pace right now, he's forcing a missed tackle on over half of his carries. That is a PFF record through 2 weeks. That is a PFF record if that were to finish through the regular season here. The record currently is at just at 31% of carries. So anything over 50% is unheard of. We haven't seen it. Moss is the most elusive back and the biggest bruiser so far through 2 weeks, deservingly of his spot here on the Heisman rankings list. A big game against Northern Illinois. Like to see what he does through the rest of the season and as they get into Pac-12 play as well for him to keep his spot. Next guy on the list needs no introduction, Tua Tagovailoa. Great game against New Mexico State. Super strong adjusted completion percentage. He's great from a clean pocket. Obviously not tested very much against New Mexico State, but that's just the belly of the beast, the nature of college football. As we get into SEC play, we'll see Tua do things that he did last year that made him this potential #1 draft pick, and obviously a guy who was the runner-up for the Heisman last season. We'd like to see him potentially get there again, and these numbers are all indicative of that as we go through. SEC play coming up, though. Big games that we'd like to see this from Tua. Next guy on the list, though, rocketed to the top of our list for the Heisman and probably everybody's list across the country. A huge game against Texas. The numbers speak for themselves against the Longhorns and who they claimed were DBU. Burrow put that to rest for at least this week. 471 yards, 4 touchdowns, was awesome, 31 of 39. Huge game on passes targeted 10 or more yards down the field as well. He's currently the nation's leader in adjusted completion percentage on those passes 10 yards downfield. The new offense that he's running here, we finally have seen what made Joe Burrow the Mr. Ohio football in his senior year at Athens as well. Did not get to show it at Ohio State. Didn't really even get to show it last season at LSU. Through 2 games, though, he is the #1 for the Heisman right now, taking the spot, formerly that Jalen Hurts we had last week. So Burrow is it, #1 on our list for the Heisman. Heismans aren't won in September, though, but as it stands now, Joe Burrow, it is his to lose if he continues at the current pace. Jalen Hurts, also a big game. Alabama's offense here featuring quite the wide receiver combo with Tua, Jerry Jeudy there. First time or second time in his career that he's seen double-digit targets in back-to-back games for Jeudy. They clearly know that they have arguably, if not the best receiver in all of college football. Trevor Lawrence deserving here finally a bounce-back game, week 2 against Texas A&M, and the rest of our top 10. For more on the top 10 as well, go to PFF.com. But as it stands now, Joe Burrow for Heisman. We'll see if it pans out.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.